What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel and to another video. Today I'm gonna share with you my experience with the HAWK DTC 60 trackpad, which I have been running for the whole of last season. I think this information will be very helpful for anybody who's in the market for this type of trackpad, as there are benefits, but there's a few major drawbacks of this trackpad. So I'm gonna share that with you today. By the way, you might be thinking, why is my car covered in the back of me? Well, I'm working on this little winter project, which I'm about to share with you in the near future. So stay tuned on the channel. Let's focus on today's topic. That is the HAWK DTC 60 performance trackpad. I'm going to be comparing the DTC 60 pad mainly to the pads I have used in the past, which are the PFC 08, which are considered by many one of the best all-around pad you could buy for track use and racing. Now, the DTC 60 pad is a phenomenal pad in terms of performance. It provides phenomenal initial bite, torque. It has a very good temperature range. It easily lasts the whole 30-minute track session, and it has good modulation, and the release is nice on it. The stopping power is a little bit better than, for example, on a PFC 08, and initial bite as well. Now, but in this video, I'm going to show you some of the drawbacks associated with this pad that basically, at least for me, outweigh the benefits of this pad in terms of performance. So here are some major fails at least in my opinion, in terms of this pad. First drawback of the DTC 60 pads are its lifespan. As you see in my box here, these are basically done DTC 60 pads, and they only have about 9 track days on them, which is not a lot at all. Like, for comparison, PFC 08 I ran for about, say, 25 days, 25 days, and this pad only lasted me 9 track days, which is less than half of what the PFC 08 lasted. Now, usually you could get them for about $250, so they're not the most expensive pad, but they're not the cheapest as well. For example, the PFC 08s usually you could obtain them for about $330, so they're slightly more, but you get a little longer life. I mean, not a little, but basically double what this pad will provide you. But that's not a major drawback, because I could live with that. Now let's move to a second drawback that I'm about to show you. Now, the second drawback of these pads is the Rotor Life. These pads will basically destroy your rotors. In front of me here, I have my my rotors here mounted on the car still, and they have about 10,000 miles on them, and you could see how beat up they are. Look at the grooves in them. I mean, I've been running street pads on them for some time now, so they kind of polished away, but when I initially took off the pads, they basically, my finger was catching the grooves. It was so bad, and that's only after 9 track days. I only used these pads on this rotor for about 9 track days, and they were brand new when I installed them. The life of the rotor is about as short as the life of the pad, which is crazy. I mean, you're gonna be going through consumables like there's no tomorrow. For example, on the PFC 08 pad, I was able to keep the same rotors for about 25 to 30,000 miles, no problem, and the wear wasn't even that significant. And this is less than half the life, which is a big drawback. These rotors are not cheap to replace. If you are in the market for this pad, you will have to consider replacing your rotors at least twice as fast, if not more, than what you were used to running something else. Now, the third drawback of these pads is right here. See my track wheels right there? I'm gonna show you right now what I'm talking about. Here you see my track wheel. Now, if you care at all about the finish on your wheels at all, make sure you only run these pads, if you do get them, only in dry weather. But unfortunately, sometimes you cannot predict the weather. I was going to a track day, it was a beautiful day, and by the end of the day it started pouring rain. Now why I mention rain is because these pads create brake dust, which is highly corrosive. What that means is once the wheel is warm and it starts raining on it, the brake dust will basically bake itself onto the rim and it will stay there forever. Take a look at the damage I encountered here. As you see, look, it was raining and basically the brake dust baked itself onto the rim, and basically with time it just starts to rust away because it's basically part of the pad and the rotor embedded into the rim itself, and this stuff is almost impossible to remove. If you guys know any way of removing this type of brake dust, please let me know in the comments down below. I tried quite a few techniques already and none of them seem to be working. I mean, I tried removing this here with some steam and it's doesn't really want to budge. So basically at this point I have rims that are like looking like this, and I can't figure out a way of restoring them. I mean, I will have to strip him and repowder coat him from scratch, which I really don't want to do. So if you guys know any tips how to remove this corrosive brake dust from wheels that have been destroyed like this, please let me know. I will highly appreciate that in the comments. I could probably live with a short life of the pad itself, but then if you consider the cost of replacing the rotors as at least twice as often, and then you have to deal with corrosion on your wheels, it basically the benefits are not there, even though the performance is very much phenomenal on this pad, but the drawbacks are what kills it. So in the future I don't think I'm gonna be using this pad anymore. I'm thinking of moving on to the Rotor DS 1.11 pad, which I hear great things about. It's comparable to a PFC 08 pad from what I've heard. So this is my next pad I'm gonna be trying. But this the DTC pad, it's like I mentioned to you just now, you see it for yourself. I mean, you got short life on the pad itself, you got very short life on your rotors, and then you have to deal with corrosion on your wheels, which I don't feel like repainting my wheels every other track season, and then I don't want to be riding with rims looking like this either. Hopefully this information has been helpful to you guys, for anybody who's considering buying these pads. If you don't care about the rotor life or the pad life, or for that matter your wheel appearance, then I guess the benefits are there. But if you care of any of those other things, then I don't think it makes sense to run this pad, especially if you end up with wheels looking like this. For those of you have had run this pad before, share your comments and experience down below in the comments section. I highly appreciate that. And on that note, I want to thank you for watching. Hit that like button, consider subscribing to the channel. I'm going to be sharing some updates on my recent project very soon, so stay tuned for that, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.